Hello, hello, hello. Welcome back to the ninth one shot of the Lunch Table podcast. We are back, and this week we don't have Ryan or Nick because they don't know anything about F1. So instead, I've brought on two guests today. Welcome, Oliver and Luca. Um, Oliver, introduce yourself. What do you do?
Hello.
You know.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. Hi, I'm Oliver. I'm 21 years old. I'm from Australia, but I'm living in the Netherlands at the moment. I know Siva from Discord, and I have been watching F1 for the last 1 or 2 years.
Mm-hmm. All right, Luca.
Yeah, that's about it.
Yeah, Luca. What about you?
Yeah, I'm Luca. I'm 18. I'm still studying right now, but I'm also living in Singapore. And well, in terms of my F1 following, I've not really followed for that long. Yeah, I'm one of them Drive to Survive Donnies.
Hey,
Nice.
bro, Drive to Survive is fine. You know, like I actually do enjoy watching it a lot, unlike like other fans who like despise it. You know,
Yeah,
I think
sure,
it's really good for the sport.
I think it's still his job, which is get more fans to the sport.
Yeah, like it's exploded F1's popularity, so like it is doing something, right?
Yeah, if it got to me, then it's done its job.
Exactly.
And
All right,
it's funny.
okay, first of all, who do you support? Let's do that first. Oliver, who do you support?
Right. I support Daniel Ricciardo, the
Okay.
only Aussie on the grid at the moment.
Yeah.
He
So you're
the
not
best
like
vibes in F1.
a team. Are you not like a team fan?
I'm not really a team guy. I decided my team based on the vibes at the start of the season. If the team's gonna change their driver lineup to a dead lineup, then I won't support them anymore.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
So at the moment it's McLaren,
Mm-hmm.
but that could always change, of course, if later on. But this year I'm definitely back to McLaren.
All right, nice. So Luca, what about you?
Well, I was having kind of moment where I was going, oh, should I support a team? And I asked you, and I was like, well, I highlighted the guys I liked. I obviously I do like Bottas, and he's left Mercedes, so I wouldn't be supporting Mercedes, but I like Hamilton. He's a good role model. Not going to support Mercedes though, but I was saying I always liked Magnussen from Drive to Survive. It's really odd, but I do like Danish people as well, and people with beards. So solely as a person, I'd support him, but I was looking at as a team, I'd be interested in watching or supporting Alfa Romeo.
Ooh, okay.
Because obviously Bottas there. And there's also a Chinese guy, so let's just see what he does.
Zhou Guan Yu.
Yeah, let's see what he
Alright.
does.
Oh yeah, it's the other way around, right? It's not Guang Yu Zhou, it's Zhou Guang Yu.
Yeah. It's so like in Chinese, the name is actually flipped. So his last name is actually Guan Yu, and Zhou is his actual name. But up till now, people have been calling it Guan Yu Zhou. So it's like,
Yeah.
Oh my lord.
Yeah. All right. So I'm a McLaren fan, big McLaren fan, and so I support Lando, I support Daniel, and I also support Lewis because he's ex McLaren, and also just he's the greatest. Like I Lewis is different gravy. You know what I'm saying? So I support him as well. But yeah, mostly I don't really care about Mercedes. All I really care about is if they give Lewis a good car. The rest, I'm a McLaren fan. I care more about McLaren than Mercedes. Mercedes are kind of like, I don't really care what happens to Mercedes. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But yeah.
No way.
But
Yeah,
you're mainly a Lewis fan.
Yeah, I'm mainly a McLaren fan and a Lewis fan. Yeah.
Yeah, nice.
That sounds about
Alright.
right.
I do
sounds
have to
about
say,
right.
I think McLaren have the best vibes at the moment. They're
100%.
just a fun team.
It's a fun team.
It's just good vibes. You know what I'm saying? Instead of like.
And they both look like they work off each other well, Ricciardo and Norris.
100%.
So we'll see how it
100%.
goes.
In Drive to Survive, they were painting them as like these massive rivals, but I don't feel like that's necessarily been the case in the first season.
I wouldn't.
Different
Okay,
content.
I definitely think that they didn't get off on the best start as teammates. Like, I don't think they gelled immediately, but now I feel like they're more close. Because even in like the
Yeah,
team
yeah,
content last year, they didn't seem like the best mates. Like it wasn't like Science and
yeah,
Lando
for sure.
were, but I feel like they're
Yeah, for
warming
sure.
up more now together.
Yeah,
But yeah,
and I think I guess like with Ricardo and Lando's reputation is like two of the most fun guys on the grid. It
yeah,
was maybe a bit of
exactly.
a surprise they didn't get along as well together. But let's see.
All right,
Yeah.
so let's start. So I want to start with F2. So
Yeah,
F2 is obviously the feeder series, or it's like the youth series for F1, and there's a lot of young talent that is driving there. Luca, I don't know how much you know about F2. Do you know any drivers from F2?
Uh, well, I'm going to talk about my research and how I've managed to predict someone from F2 and
Yeah.
who or why that I've decided to choose them.
Okay.
So
who'd you choose?
I wanted to see the F2 lineup first. Any names that would come out to me.
Yeah.
I looked at them. Well, I'm not really getting anything off of this. So I had gone and searched up F2 predictions.
Oh, from other YouTubers?
From other, not even YouTubers. I have gone as low as someone in our Discord server would poke. I know goes on Reddit a lot.
I see. Okay.
So I've gone on Reddit to see predictions.
Oh God.
Oh no, it's ropes.
And
it's ropes.
Yeah, it is really ropes out here.
It's ropes for me, but because I know there'll probably be some weird thing that they'll go for, but I've gone for French guy.
Do you guys? What's the name?
Theo Pourchaire.
Yeah, Pourchaire. All right. I think okay. Pourchaire is a good shout for the F2 title. Actually, he was really good last year when he came into F2. It was his first season. I think he just kind of got, did he join mid-season, Oliver?
I'm not sure, but like I do know I know him from like Alfa Romeo really want him next season. And,
yeah.
Everyone.
Yeah, I remember watching him last season, and then I think it was near the end of the season. People were really gassing him up, being like, "This guy is the one," and like.
Yeah, it does feel like he is definitely very highly rated. So I think it's a good shout.
Yeah, I think that's actually a pretty good shout for someone who doesn't know anything.
Yeah.
Filthy casual. But okay, Oliver, how about you? Who do you think is going to be F2 champion this year?
Yeah, right. Well, okay, so I followed F2 last season a little bit, so I don't know very much, but I do know like right now as of teams that like the top teams in the junior leagues at the moment, Prima are the ones that beat. Like I think they won F3 last year and F2. Of course, Piastri won in F2.
And before that, Mick Schumacher also won for Prima.
Oh yeah, he was also in Prima, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
So like, I definitely think they have found kind of the formula to winning in the junior leagues. So I went for one of the Prima drivers. Of course, I could have gone with Jehan Daruvala.
Yeah,
but
GOAT.
He's a bit of a F2 veteran.
He's not a veteran. Okay, I'll talk about Daruvala later when I.
Yeah, right. Okay. But I've gone with the very highly rated Red Bull Junior driver, Dennis Hauger. He won F3 last year. I'm backing to do what Piastri did last year, and Russell and Leclerc have done before. He's now in the best seat in F2. I think he'll win the whole lot and get seat at AlphaTauri next year.
All right. Okay, I see. So you went Dennis Hauger. Okay. Clearly, you chose the wrong teammate because Jehan Daruvala is going to win everything next year, bro. I am telling you. All right, so the story with Jehan is that his first year in F2 was in 2020, I think. It was his 2020 season. And the thing with Jehan was that he came in as a Red Bull Junior, and he was in Carlin, and he had a faulty engine for half a season, actually. So what happened was he was actually really underperforming. Like people were starting to call him the next Mahavir Raghunathan. That's how bad his reputation was, and he kept complaining about like not being able to go fast to the point where his engineer started like swearing at him to just try and drive fast. And it came to the point, I think, at the Belgium F2 Grand Prix where he was like, I request an engine change because my engine is really like slow on the straights. And it turns out he had like a really shit engine for half a season. So once he actually changed his engine at the end of the 2019 season, at the end of the 2020 season, he actually ended up getting a win. And then last year, in F2, he was actually pretty solid as well. I think he finished P7. Obviously last year's like grid was really talented. So like, he definitely didn't do as well as all the other drivers that were, out there. But he got like 3 or 4 wins, I think, a bunch of podiums. So yeah, now he's in the best seat in Prima with experience. I feel like this is the time he's gonna do it. I feel like this is it. Jihan's gonna go for it.
Yeah, fair play. Like I think I do think it'll be probably one of the Prima boys, but I feel like I haven't seen enough from Jihan. Like last year was talented, of course, like Piastri, but then after that I do kind of wonder. There are probably lots of drivers there he could have beaten, it wasn't as special as like the year there was which year was was it 2019 that was very strong. Like it's not that kind of level yet, so I think Hauger will do it, but
let's see. I'm really hoping that Jihan does it because I really want him in F1 actually. Get some good Indian representation. You know what I'm saying?
For sure, I think like this is probably his last chance realistically to have a credible shout at the seat.
Yeah, if he doesn't like at least finish P2, P3, I don't see him staying in F2 anymore after this.
I mean, like, does he have good sponsors? Like, I don't know.
I actually have no idea about his sponsors, to be honest. But
otherwise
Red Bull, he is of the Red Bull Academy, so
That's true. Like, they always want the best for him.
Like the Red Bull Academy doesn't pick you up for no reason. So I'm hoping that I hope he graduates to Formula 1, but I have no idea where he would go. So maybe AlphaTauri if Albon's in Williams. So if Gasly graduates and goes somewhere else, maybe he can come into that seat. That would be nice.
I do definitely feel like this is probably going to be Gasly's last year at AlphaTauri, but
100%.
I'm not sure. Are we doing next year's driver predictions, or?
We'll do that at the end. At the end of it. Okay.
Yeah, then I'll wait before making predictions.
Yeah, all right. So next up, I want to do Rising Star and the biggest fall off for the drivers in 2022. So who's your Rising Star in 2022? Who do you think is gonna overperform and really go from an average, his normal standard, and raise his bar all the way up, like Lando Norris did last year, for example? Luca, you can start.
Well, I was looking at obviously last standings from last season. Let me just pull them up again because I just want to see if I'm actually talking, or I'm just talking absolute rubbish. What were the driver standings? Okay.
It was Verstappen, Lewis, Bottas, I think Perez.
Are you gonna read them all out now?
I've got it. No, I've got it now. Wait. So last year's was Verstappen, Hamilton, Bottas, Perez, and Sainz as top 5.
Yeah.
I have put Rising Star as Sainz because I think he'll finish a lot higher than 5th.
Ooh, okay.
Just because the way I got off him. That sounds mad. The things I got from him last season, I just feel like he didn't do better. So
yeah, he did end up finishing higher than Leclerc in his first year in Ferrari. So hey bro, all I'm saying is that Leclerc ain't the guy everybody thought he was.
Yeah, I think exactly. Well, we should definitely come to this soon with the head-to-heads, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I think Sainz will. Well, I mean, if Sainz has a championship caliber car, he could finish definitely higher than 5th.
Yeah. Okay. What position do you think Sainz would finish in, Luca? Now that you said he's Rising Star.
I went 3rd.
Ooh. Okay.
But as well as that, I'm kind of putting maybe people, in a. Well, I was trying to be as specific as I can, but even then, if we're doing, a point system, how many points is this guy off of where he actually finished? Then being third, he's not going to be too far away if he finished fifth. Maybe it's a tactical thing.
Do you think he's going to be close to the top two, or do you think he's going to be like a fair bit off the top two?
I think in terms of how many people finish first, how many people challenging first will be a lot more than I think it'll be. It's not going to be 2-horse race. It's going to be at least 4 or 5 maybe. Challenging. I don't know what season was like that.
I mean, we can talk about the regulations real quick. There's the new F1 regulations. There's a new car. There's a budget cap, and with this, I mean, we're hopefully going to see better racing, more competitive cars, and everything. I mean, as you said, right? You mentioned that you think there's going to be like a 3-horse, 4-horse race for the title. Who do you think will compete for the title? How many teams do you think are going to be in a viable position to win the title? Luca, Oliver, any of you, who do you think is going to go for it this year?
Well, I mean, like with the change of regulations, you basically kind of reset the field, right? You've said start from scratch. Even then, I think though, Red Bull and Ferrari look extremely strong compared to even the rest, and I think you probably when you look week in week out, you'll probably have those two teams challenging for wins consistently. And then of course you have Mercedes and McLaren, who are very smart operators and have a good history within the sport, especially Mercedes recently. So I think they'll definitely be in a position to challenge for wins at some point throughout the season. I definitely think with Mercedes, it's kind of from what we've seen in testing so far, they might have a bit of a poor start to the season, but later on.
Do you think they're sandbagging, or do you think their problems are actually real?
It's tough to say, but I don't think you'd sandbag to be 2 seconds slower throughout the whole weekend of testing. I feel that's probably a bit extreme. So I do think they probably aren't. They probably are sandbagging to some extent, but I don't think they're the quickest car on the grid at the moment.
Yeah. What about you, Luca?
But then sorry.
Sorry, you can go on. You finish on.
Yeah, no, but I think we could see some small upset as well, a lower team having a incredible weekend and winning, maybe an Alpine or an Aston Martin.
Yeah.
I've gone for someone else to win a race this season, but we'll get to that later as well, I think.
Yeah.
Sorry, now Luca,
let's stay on Rising Star. Who do you think who's your Rising Star this year, Ollie?
Right, I've gone for Mick Schumacher.
Oh, okay.
Ooh.
So has it looked pretty quick in testing? It has been when they've set fast times, it's been kind of towards the end of testing when the cameras are off and when they can turn their engine up a bit. I do think they could run in the points a couple of times this season, and I've gone a bit controversial, and I've gone for Mick Schumacher to outperform Kevin Magnussen and really step up and show what he's made of this season. I think he's of course a Ferrari Academy driver. I think he could make a good addition to move up into a mid-table or even better seat in the future, because of course he won't want to stay at Haas for the rest of his career.
Of course. I'm surprised you went for Mick.
Who do you think I was gonna go for?
I thought you would go for someone I actually thought you were gonna go for someone like Ocon.
All right, okay.
I thought you would go Tsunoda or Ocon or Gasly.
It's interesting you say Ocon, because I do think he'll do better than we expect, but I think we'll get to that soon.
Yeah, I was gonna say Ocon is a really interesting character for me, because I feel like maybe there should be a point at some time that him and Alonso should be doing better then where they are. Like, will they finish above their challenging teams? Like, I think were they challenging Alpine last season? Was it?
They are at Alpine. I think
they were challenging
AlphaTauri.
Aston Martin.
Mm-hmm.
I think they finished above Aston Martin, did they? I'm not sure anymore.
I think it was. I think Alpine got P4 and AlphaTauri got P5, and
they got P5.
P6.
Alpine got P5, yeah, because McLaren got P4.
Oh yeah, McLaren got P4. I forgot.
Aston Martin got P7.
Oh wow, okay, yeah.
Yikes, man! Jeez. All right. Okay, so for my rising star, I've gone for a big Alex Albon.
Interesting.
For his, I think the Williams is actually like a P7 type car this year. I don't think it's as bad as other people are saying, and I feel like Albon is gonna get a podium this year. I think he's gonna prove to people why he got promoted to Red Bull so quick, and also why he was actually like pretty good against Max for like the first year, and then obviously he fell off after that and drowned under like typical Red Bull pressure. So I think he's gonna come in, and I think he's gonna do really good. I definitely think Latifi is gonna be better, but I still think Albon will end up beating him like convincingly. Like,
wait, you think Latifi's gonna be better than Albon?
No. I think Latifi will be better than I think Latifi's gonna take a big step up this year, but I still think Albon beats him.
Yeah, no, definitely. I do think Albon's very underrated.
Yeah.
I think with Williams, it's like, they weren't the best in testing, and I think they have one of the worst driver lineups on the grid. But Albon is I like Albon. I think he'll probably convincingly beat Latifi as well.
Yeah. All right, so let's move into fall-offs. Who do you think is gonna really underperform compared to their previous seasons in F1? Oliver, you can go first.
All right, yeah. So I mean, in terms of points, of course, there's one very obvious candidate, being, of course, Bottas, who stepped down from Mercedes to Alfa Romeo and probably will struggle to even get points this year rather than being third in the championship. But so I've kind of gone by personal standards.
Okay.
And I've gone for Lance Stroll.
Okay.
It's probably a bit of a out there shout, but alright, I feel like Aston Martin are trying to build something. They're definitely trying to build their project, the challenge for titles in a couple of years. And I do feel like we might see them struggle a little bit this year to make some progress. So then, of course, they have their four-time world champion Vettel at the wheel, who of course beat Stroll last year, I'm pretty sure.
I think he beat him by a couple points only, but yeah.
Yeah, because Vettel has very high peaks, but then DNFs quite a bit, and Stroll's kind of consistently the 12th, 13th best driver.
Yeah, last year Stroll was just a consistent 9th, 10th, 11th type of beat.
Yeah,
and Seb is he either finishes P7 or P14. He's like that.
Yeah, he's all over the place. But I feel when the car was last year, when the car was in a position to challenge for podiums, you had Seb challenging for podiums, and you had Stroll really down there. So I do think.
Okay. I like Stroll, so I'm gonna give you a counter argument here. So let's say Baku, Seb got a podium but got disqualified later. If you remember. That race, Lance was actually running. I think he was running a really good strategy. He was extending his tires, and he was going for a P5, P4, but his tire ended up exploding. So I do feel he's been hard done by with luck and everything.
Yeah, for sure.
In last season, he definitely could have gotten a podium if he just didn't have that much bad luck. Even in, I think it was Hungary, where he locked up in the wet and hit Leclerc in the big pileup. I feel if Bottas didn't screw up there, I feel Lance would have probably gotten a pretty decent result there as well. But I also feel he gets hit by other drivers a lot. He's very unlucky in that sense. So I do feel it.
He is definitely unlucky. Yeah, like
Yeah.
my thoughts just like okay, if Aston Martin was not owned by Lawrence Stroll,
Yeah.
would Lance Stroll be in that seat? Like,
I
like
think
would he be
I
that
think
It's a
a
good
genuine
question.
choice for them to be in that seat? And I
I
don't think like yeah, he's fine. I'm not saying he doesn't
okay. I
deserve to be in
personally
F1.
think up until last year he wouldn't be, but at this point I think he's a pretty good midfield driver. You know.
Yeah, he's okay. I just think that like, um,
He definitely
I
got the opportunity to be in F1 and to get all that time and like experience to get to this point where he is now like a decent. He doesn't need to be paid for anymore. To get to this level though, he has been obviously supported by Lawrence Stroll. So like, you know.
in any case, yeah. So I think this year we could see him. Well, I think Vettel will convincingly outperform him this season. I think, on the weekends where the car is quick enough, I think Vettel will be at that level. And I think, I think Aston Martin, despite of course Stroll's fine and he's a decent midfield driver, but I think they should consider maybe trying to go for one of the new hot prospects coming into F1, see if they can dip in and get maybe a Tsunoda or out of AlphaTauri,
or even get Gasly if he's available, right?
try and get Gasly, for example, because when you think like, okay, we want to be challenging for a world championship in a couple of years, and Vettel and Stroll is your driver lineup, I don't think that's very inspiring.
That's fair enough.
So that's why I went for Stroll. I think this could be like a season he falls off, but it's a bit controversial, of course.
Yeah, I personally think he's gonna have a solid season. I'm hoping that I have a sneaking suspicion he might get a podium this year, but like, you never know, right?
That's something you can predict.
Luca, who did you put for your fall off?
Well, obviously, because I didn't. Obviously, I'm saying obviously all the time, but I did go for Bottas. It's kind of
that's fair.
Choice that everyone would go for, but I thought he'd finish. At some point, I was like, maybe still finish top 10, maybe, or something like that. Or I'm trying to see which bit he'll finish in. I just, you fall off for me.
Yeah, obviously he's not gonna be, he's not gonna be finishing third and getting podiums like he was at Mercedes. He's definitely gonna fall off. Like, he can't really do much about that. All he can really hope for is that Alfa Romeo somehow, improve their car and go for a long-term project. But yeah, he's definitely like a big candidate for fall off, obviously because of his move to Alfa Romeo.
Exactly. Yeah.
All right.
What about you?
I've got a real hot take here.
All right.
I think it's K-Mag. I don't think K-Mag's gonna perform like people think he is.
Okay.
I think Magnussen's obviously coming back into Formula One. Haas are actually also looking pretty good. He obviously did put that like fastest lap in on day 1, I think day 2, when all the cameras were off. I feel like Haas. I feel like I got a real hot take here. I think this is probably not gonna happen, but I feel like Mick Schumacher will outscore Magnussen this year.
Well, yeah, I agree. I think. Like Magnussen is like the experienced head, but like he's been out of F1 for a year now. I agree that I think Schumacher will outperform him, and I think this is probably going to be Magnussen's last year in F1, like full stop. He feels like honestly, a bit of a short-term fix.
Yeah, and he knows the team and everything, but honestly, I would have gone for Hülkenberg rather than Magnussen.
100%, I agree. Yeah.
Yeah, I think Magnussen's good and all. Like I like Magnussen, but I think he's over. Like he's past it in my opinion. But
sorry, Luca. Luca's probably crying right now.
Famous last words. He might just go and like smoke Mick. Like we never know. So like,
I have him outperforming Mick. I have him outperforming Mick. In fact, but not by many points. I think with a team.
You think it's gonna be close?
That has a team that has mixed experience and a young driver. There's kind of nothing for the young driver to lose.
Yeah.
But even then, if he's been in the team longer, or he's he's comfortable, maybe then that doesn't really matter. Whether
The thing with Mick as well, the thing with Mick as well is that he's shown that he is always takes a big step up in his second season, in whatever category he's doing. Like for example, in F2, the first year he wasn't really that competitive, and the second year he went and won F2. He's known to take that first year off and just kind of get used to the car and everything. Obviously, we have new regulations, but I still think he's gonna take a big step up. And I think K-Mag is kind of I don't think people really rate him, and people were like, obviously I like him as well, but I don't think he's what he used to what he's used to being and what he used to he used to score points and everything. I don't think he's doing that this year personally, but we got to see that later down the line.
That was the trouble.
I think Mick is gonna be good this year.
So you want me to go on?
Sorry, no, you can continue.
Oh, that was the trouble with me because I liked him, but I didn't want to put him too high or too low.
Yeah.
In case. There's always going to be someone that has to be put last, so...
Exactly. Alright, okay, so next up, I want to do head-to-heads.
Alright.
So, sorry?
Alright. No, go for it. Alright. Yeah.
So, in head-to-head, we're going to predict which driver is going to outperform the other, score more points, or if they don't score points, who's going to, be better than the other teammate, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So we'll go in. So we'll start off with Mercedes. I have Hamilton, outperforming Russell on his first year. What about you, Luca?
Hamilton.
Okay. And what about you, Oliver?
I completely agree. Yeah, I agree. I've actually, we'll come to this later, but I've gone for, I think Russell might not have the best season. So I think Hamilton will have this pretty comfortably.
Yeah, there's a lot of people claiming that Russell will beat Lewis, like how Lewis jumped in the Mercedes, in the McLaren and beat Alonso. I honestly don't think that's gonna happen. Lewis is too good to, Lewis is just too good for that to happen.
No, and you've Lewis has been there for 7 years now, 8 years.
Yeah, 7. I think 8 years.
And he's this car has been built around Lewis for the past, for the whole hybrid era.
Exactly.
Of course they want to accommodate Russell somewhat, but for people to say okay, Russell's going to come into this car that's literally tailored to Hamilton.
Yeah.
And outperform him in his first season after having had the Williams tailored to Russell for I think 3 years. Russell was at Williams.
Yeah.
He was their first driver for 3 years. I think, I think he'll have some initial struggles with the car.
Yeah. First thing, I do believe that and also you got to consider the fact that Russell knows that he is the long-term, driver for Mercedes. He's not in a rush to outperform Lewis because Lewis will retire soon. So he knows he's safe. He doesn't have to push himself to beat Lewis. He also is a huge fan of Lewis as well. He was really adamant about Lewis being robbed and everything last season in the finale.
Yeah, for sure.
And stuff like that. I don't feel like he's gonna be good, but I think Lewis will be fairly comfortable in that Mercedes. So
of course, yeah, and I think he's okay with being respectful and being okay with being the second driver for because I think. And I also think this might be Lewis's last or second last season in F1. I think for that time, Russell will probably be okay with being his backup driver. And of course, Russell will be a F1 world champion in the future, but just not this year.
Yeah, exactly. And he also he came out with comments today saying I'm the second driver to the greatest of all time. The only thing I can do is learn. So you can definitely tell he really respects you. I don't think he's gonna go for it and I think he's also used to the Williams where he's fighting for points, and I don't think I don't think he's forgotten, but I feel like he's out of practice in terms of fighting up front and being that doing all those head-to-head battles where you fight for the lead and everything. So
for sure.
Yeah, I think Lewis has it comfortably. Let's move to Red Bull. Verstappen and Perez. Let's be real. Verstappen clears.
100%.
Yeah, what do you think,
Verstappen.
Yeah, Mr. Mr. Number One car, Verstappen, fucking cringe. I think he clears Perez by a country mile. So it's not much to say in that,
No, for sure. I think Perez struggled with the car last year, and as much as, of course, it's it's his second season and he's going to probably improve. I don't think the Red Bull engineers making the car any more accommodating to Perez. They've always, even when like Ricardo and Verstappen were together at Red Bull and Ricardo was the better driver, they still favored Max in a lot of 50-50s.
Yeah, exactly.
Because he was their future option. Like, it's his team at this point.
Yeah, it is his team. So like, yeah, Perez. I think Perez might be pushed out this year out of Red Bull just because there's so much Red Bull talent around right now. So honestly, like, I don't see Perez sticking around for like too long. Obviously, Perez is great, and he was like instrumental in giving Max the title last season. FIA as well, but like, let's not put that aside.
This man gets salty about it every time, bro. You just try to talk about it every time.
I'm gonna be salty about it every time. Fuck the FIA, fuck Massey, bro. But yeah, let's get back to it. But yeah, I think Verstappen got his covered. I think Perez will improve quite a bit though. Even though he improves, I don't see him lasting in Red Bull longer just because of the talent that Red Bull has right now. Yeah, I think he'll improve because the cars are different, and Perez is a solid driver. So, but it's Verstappen. So like, I think that's about it. Let's go to McLaren next. It's between Ricciardo and Norris. Who are you guys going for?
You go first.
Okay, I'll go. This is a bit of a tricky one because I know a lot of people rate Norris and a lot of people rate Ricciardo, and I'm always seeing Norris get he's the better driver, so that's why I went for Ricciardo.
All right. Nice. Okay.
Yeah.
Do you think? Sorry, Oliver. Go ahead.
I went for Norris, but of course, I'd like Ricciardo to do better than Norris, of course. But I think, they are building the team around Norris as well. And he's their future option. He's going to be their future world champion, and I do think it's going to be very close. I think Ricciardo in his second season he always steps up. Yeah. He makes a big step up. So
100%.
I could see it coming down to just a few points. I think McLaren are by some distance the fourth best car in the grid. They won't be very competitive with the cars above or below them. So I think this could be very close. Land. What did you say?
They're in no man's land in terms of competitiveness with other teams.
Yeah.
I feel
what do you think?
Yeah, I feel like in some races, I feel like McLaren will be quite competitive. I think it's gonna be like last year, where in places like Russia, in places like Monza, we can go for 1-2s. But obviously, I think this year's gonna be a lot closer than last year. So you never know, right? That being said, exactly. I think Norris does beat out Ricciardo, but I feel like it's gonna be so close. I think it's gonna be like a 50-50 this year. It's gonna be like a 51-49, like Norris Ricciardo type of thing. I think he's gonna take a huge step up. Okay. I still think Norris takes it though, because he's been in the team for 4 years now, right? So he does have the experience advantage, and he knows how the McLaren works. But that being said, Ricciardo is known to take a huge step up in the season after. Like back in 2019, Ricciardo was like P10, P11, P12 for Renault, and then and then he got 3 podiums in 2020. So I think
he was 5th, was it, in 2020?
Yeah, in P5. He was P5 in 2020. So I think he's going to take a step up like that. And I think it's going to, right as of now, it's been Lando carrying, but I think it's going to be more of a shared thing from now on, rather than, Norris leading and Ricciardo struggling. So, yeah.
Fair enough.
Yeah, next up, this is the biggest one, Ferrari.
Oh, Ferrari, okay.
Who do you guys
This is going to be mad.
Sorry?
Yeah, I feel like this is going to be very controversial.
Yeah. Who'd you go for, Oliver?
Well, no, I think you guys should go first.
Ooh,
I think I
okay,
went for
Luca.
something
Luca,
different
you
to
go
you guys.
first.
How
Luca,
about
go
you
first.
go first, Siva?
All right, sure. Okay, I'll go first. I went for science. I went for science, man.
Legit, yeah.
I think he does the
Same.
double over Leclerc.
Yeah.
Oliver, who'd you go for? Did you also go for science?
No, I went for Leclerc.
Ooh, okay,
Oh.
okay, okay.
So
All right.
okay, let me tell you my thoughts.
Okay.
So yeah, I think like the main argument for Sainz is he's super consistent.
Mhm.
You know, Leclerc had always, you know, of course, you think back to last season, he qualified on pole in Monaco and then had this gear
Crashed.
issue and uh,
Yeah.
had to retire, so couldn't, you know, participate in the race. That was his own mistake, of course. That crash was unnecessary.
Yeah.
I think, but like I think in terms of pure pace,
Mhm.
Leclerc is just so unlucky, and he does have the pace to win a world championship. Whereas I think, well, Sainz is super consistent and will get you P5, P4
Mhm.
every week. I don't think he has the pace to maybe win a world championship when he has the car to. Whereas I think when Leclerc has the car to, and when he's in the position to, I think Leclerc has the quality to, you know, he is world championship material.
Okay. Okay. So the thing is with Leclerc, right? He definitely has a pace, as you said, but I still feel like he hasn't gotten those little mistakes that he keeps making, like the crashes that he keeps causing, and he always crashes. Like he's always been prone to crash like 3 or 4 Grand Prix in a year. And until I see him improve that aspect, I will never really go for him as a championship contender. Whereas, like, I feel like Sainz, yeah, as you said, he's consistent, and he's never consistently gotten podiums. But with the Ferrari looking so promising this year, I think he's gonna take that consistency and just bump it from a P4 to a P2 or a P1. I think he has
Yeah.
the minerals to up his game and become a championship capable driver. And I think
Yeah.
Leclerc will still. I don't see Leclerc improving on that. Crashing and all that. I think he's gonna start getting better this year, but I don't think he completely removes it. So I think I think Sainz would probably outperform Leclerc this year, and maybe next year Leclerc takes over as the lead driver. But until then, I think this year it's Sainz's year. I think it's gonna be close like last year, but I think
Yeah.
Sainz is gonna outperform Leclerc this year.
I think the thing, like one thing I'd say about that as well is like, as you said, like he's been, well, I mean, he wants, like, Ferrari wants Leclerc to be their main driver, and he's going to, they are going to favor him at some point. And I think in 50-50 situations where, like we saw a lot last season, where it's Sainz and Leclerc both around the same position, I think the team strategy-wise will probably favor Leclerc most of the time. I think
that's a
Sainz
good
will
point.
have
To be
that
fair,
going
that's a
against
good
him.
point. Yeah, I think that's a good point.
And like, another thing is that the Ferrari, like yes, Leclerc crashes a lot, but that's been when Ferrari's been pretty much a midfield team, which has been the case. Like, maybe apart from his first season there, that's been the case. That they've been a midfield team rather than fighting for wins and stuff. And I think that Leclerc's driving style is probably a bit better suited to driving at the front where it's less crowded. So I think when it's less crowded, I do think he will crash less.
That's a good point.
And if there's one thing he can do, it's hold on to a lead. Like, he's incredible at, well, clean overtakes, but also just, when he has the car, he can streak out in front and no one will catch him.
Yeah. I think
But
that's a good point.
I think it could be close, of course, because he will have a couple of stinkers a year. Like, that's given.
Yeah, exactly. All right, what about you, Luca?
Sorry?
What about you? Do you think Sainz is gonna win, or Leclerc?
Oh, I had Sainz over him, yeah, because I put Sainz third. So Wait, did I say that already?
True. Oh yeah.
Oh yeah,
you
you asked about that.
mention
Yeah.
if Leclerc was above him or not. So.
Yeah. Well, yeah, he's not finishing above him.
All right.
And yeah, I like his attitude, Sainz. And he's done what he's intended to do. I think he performed well when he was at, was it Renault?
Yeah, at Renault and McLaren.
Yeah,
he's
McLaren as well.
always been super solid.
Yeah, exactly. And I think with a new car, you can go ahead and do that.
All right then. Let's move on to Aston Martin. We got Vettel and Stroll. Who'd you guys go for?
I think for me it's obvious. I
Yeah.
I said Stroll would fall off, so I went for Vettel. I think Vettel will be the guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think Vettel will be the guy. Like when the car's on the money, Vettel will be again like fighting for podiums. And I think I also think he's been pretty unlucky last season. So I think that like when the car's maybe not quite there, he will be still around the level Stroll is at.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas I think Stroll does struggle around in the mid, like he does struggle to get the most out of the car at times.
Yeah. What about you, Luca?
Yeah, Vettel is going to be him, and
Mm-hmm.
I know he's got his great experience. I don't know if he's been he's at a different team, right? But I don't know if he's been, mid-table sort of scrapping because of a worse car. I don't know if that's the reason why at all.
Mm-hmm.
But if there's new regulations, you'd put your money on him outplaying his teammate, never mind other people.
Yeah, that's fair. I think, I said Vettel as well, but I did mention I think it's gonna be close between Stroll and Vettel this year. I think Stroll is gonna slightly step up and also stay consistent, and I think Vettel is gonna continue having his like up-down trajectory that he always has. But I do think Vettel will come around. I do think Vettel will get a podium, which would probably put him over the edge over Stroll. I think he's the established number one driver as well there now. Being their marquee signing and all, so it is going to be Vettel for me.
Fair.
Great, we're in agreement. Nice.
Yep.
All right. Next up, Alpine.
Alpine. All right. Shall I go?
Yeah.
Yes.
Go ahead.
I think I've gone a bit controversial here. You said you thought I'd go for Ocon to be the rising star.
Yeah.
And I went for Schumacher, but I have gone for Ocon to outperform Alonso.
Ooh. Okay.
Alonso's getting older, and of course he's still amazing in, he still has a very high level that he can bring to the team.
Mm-hmm.
But I think Ocon's maturing now. We saw he's super composed and just missed out on the podium. Was it in Saudi Arabia? Yeah. And of course got his race win in Hungary. Of course you need to be at the right place at the right time. But I think Ocon is is going to be the guy for Alpine, and will be. I think this is a season he kind of establishes himself as their number one driver, so that they can maybe leave Alonso behind at the end of this season in favor of a younger driver.
That's fair. What about you, Luca? Alonso or Ocon?
I actually thought this was the toughest one to pick.
Yeah, this is definitely one of the hardest ones to pick.
Because I did have the same difficulty with McLaren and Aston Martin. Not as much, but in terms of positioning the teams was the more difficult thing for Aston Martin actually. But I have put Alonso above, and while I think from my research, I think Alonso has finished above Ocon twice. If they've been together, have they been 2 seasons together already?
They have been 1 season together.
Just 1 season. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
But I reckon they're really equal to each other. They're sort of coming back off each other.
Yeah, they're also they're good friends, and they've been supporting each other for their podiums, and
For sure.
all that. I think
L Planners, isn't it?
Yeah, L Plan. I think L Plan comes out on top this year. I think Alonso barely beats Ocon. I think it's going to be like a 5-10 point gap only. I think Alonso's gonna. I think this is probably Alonso's last year in F1, considering Piastri is in the ranks.
Yeah.
I think Alonso's on the way out, and I think he's gonna give his heart out. And whatever he does this year, I think he's gonna really pull out all the stops, and then give it his all. So I do think Alonso does beat Ocon this year, just because of that factor, of that Alonso factor. where he goes up and beyond and performs like on a different level of the car. I think Ocon's gonna be good. I think he's gonna get a podium this year. But I do see Ocon finishing like 5 to 10 points, maybe 5 to 15 points, depending on how Alonso does. I think Alonso comes out on top this year, just because of that Alonso factor, and this might be his last year in Formula One. So I think he's gonna drive his ass off. So
can I also mention?
Oh, sorry. Yeah.
You just remember what you're saying. I just want to look at something. When I was looking at where they finished in the season, last season, Ocon and Alonso. Even though Alonso finished higher, he didn't have as many podiums or higher finishes as Ocon, but he still performed probably more consistently. That's his experience.
Yeah,
and that's probably where it comes into play. How they both.
In fairness, I'll say the two teams I had the drivers next to each other in the drivers rankings was Alpine and McLaren. So like those are the two closest ones for me in terms of drivers. So I do think like if Ocon finishes above Alonso, it won't be by a massive stretch. I just think Ocon is ready now for a step up.
Yeah, that's true. All right, next up we have AlphaTauri.
Easy.
Okay,
easy.
Oliver, you can go first, Oliver.
Yeah, I think it's going to be clearly Gasly. I think.
Yep.
Tsunoda did look a lot better than last season, but I still don't think Gasly is. He knows that AlphaTauri and he gets the very best out of that car.
Yeah.
You being sixth pretty consistently every week in an AlphaTauri is incredible.
Yep. Pierre Gasly, as Ricardo says it. I think he's gonna clear. So I think Tsunoda is gonna improve a lot this year, but it's Gasly. Gasly's gonna. I think he's gonna sweep the floor with everybody. Obviously it's Gasly. What about you, Luca? Do you think it's Gasly?
Gasly. I was gonna say one thing, about certain young drivers might be improving each year, but so is everyone else, I imagine.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
Obviously, that's where someone has to come last. That sort of thing. It's you'd have a young driver probably coming last because that's they're going to learn from that. And if Pierre Gasly, I think he knows what he's doing. He's still trying to challenge. I don't know if he's still trying to challenge for the Red Bull seat, but it'll be interesting to see if he moves on.
He's never going to get it.
Say again, sorry.
I think Pierre has he's kind of expected that he's not gonna get that Red Bull seat again. I don't think he will, to be honest.
I don't think he should, in my opinion. Whether he got treated badly or not, but
I do think he deserves it, but I think I do think if Red Bull don't offer it to him on with some good promises next year. He should probably step away from the Red Bull program altogether.
Yeah, just really leave the Red Bull program and find something better.
Of course, that second Red Bull seat is somewhat cursed, some would say, but what merit is there for Gasly? He's shown himself he can be the leader of a team.
Yeah.
And any other team in F1 would be lucky to have him. So why would he resign to being the second driver for Red Bull?
Yeah, that's a really good point.
Yeah. All right.
But yeah, I think we'll get to that next year. I mean.
All right. Next up, Alpha. Okay, we just did AlphaTauri. Let's go to Alfa Romeo. Obviously, we have Joe and Bottas. I think this one's a fairly simple one.
Yeah.
I think all of us are saying Bottas. I think he sweeps Joe this year. Joe's not the biggest talent. I mean, he's always good, but I think Bottas is just so good that it's not even gonna be close.
Yeah, I agree. I think Bottas is a good driver. I do wonder how he'll fit into the lower like lower slash mid table driving, because he does struggle like with his overtaking. Like on pure race pace, he's maybe not the strongest. Like he's best when he has lots of clear out air in front of him to dash into.
Mm-hmm.
So I think I wouldn't be surprised if, and like Joe still very much has the paid driver tag, because let's be real, that's what he's here for. Otherwise, they would have gone for, a better young driver like Piastri.
Yeah.
So I think I do think Bottas will outperform him, but then if Joe does end up surprising people, I also wouldn't be overly surprised.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah.
What do you think, Luca? You got anything to add to that?
Not explicitly, but I was looking back in Bottas's history with Williams before he went to Mercedes, because that was the only team he was with.
Yeah.
Before Mercedes, and seemed like he did really well with Williams.
Yeah. He was like actually really, really good in he was actually obviously very great in Williams. He got a lot of podiums and stuff. That's why he got signed up for Mercedes, right?
For sure. Like there's definitely a good driver there, and I do think he will outperform him.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't think a spoiler for later in the predictions, but I don't think there's going to be many points in the Alfa Romeo team at all. So that's why I don't think the points difference will be that incredible.
All right. Next up, we got Williams with Albon Latifi. I think we are all in agreement here that Albon is gonna. I think he's gonna comfortably beat Latifi.
Yeah. I think this is. I don't think that Latifi's good enough to be a Formula One driver.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Let's be real. He has the money.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. All right. I think there's not much to say here, but the more we go down the driver list, the more we see like easy like deciders.
The more we go down, the less we talk about them.
Yeah. And, okay. Last but not least, we got Haas, Schumacher and Magnussen. What do you guys think?
Well, yeah, I think there is a debate to be had here, but I'd have gone for Schumacher.
Ooh, yeah. There's definitely a debate to be had here. I predicted Magnussen to beat Schumacher, which I am now rethinking. I'm pretty sure Schumacher is gonna beat Magnussen now, but I did predict Magnussen is gonna beat Schumacher, so I guess I'll have to stick by my word, right? What about you, Luca? What do you think?
I don't want to bring my inner fanboy out, but I do have him higher. But it's lower rankings team Haas. Whether they finish higher or not, that will just that'll be completely different. If they were a team, because of the new regulations, started challenging a lot higher, I mean, then predictions just go out the window. But Schumacher still young. That's where my bit comes in. He's young driver. Still got a lot to learn. So I have Magnussen outperforming.
Yeah, I think it's definitely true that Magnussen does bring the experience level, and he knows the team, and he's an aggressive driver who really does well in in the midfield battle.
Yeah.
So it's definitely like Schumacher has it all to prove, but Magnussen has less to prove. But I think that Schumacher will show why he's so highly rated.
Yeah, exactly.
Fair enough.
All right, now that we have head-to-heads out of the way, do you guys want to do which are the driver who will win a race this season? Who do you think will win a race this season?
Ooh.
Okay.
Let's do that. All right. Let's start. Okay, so let's just list out all your drivers. So let's start with Luca, then Oliver, then me. So Luca, who do you think is gonna win a race this year?
All right. Okay. I don't really have a huge selection, so I've only gone with 6 drivers. That includes Hamilton, Verstappen, Sainz, Russell. I know. It's weird. I've gone for some weird ones. Vettel and Ricardo. Yep.
Okay.
No Verstappen?
I've gone for Zappen. I have Zappen second. Did I miss his name?
Who?
No.
Who? List it out again. Who do
Okay.
you have?
Hamilton, Verstappen,
Yeah.
Sainz, Russell, Vettel, and Ricardo.
Oh, so no Leclerc.
Nope.
No Leclerc.
I know
Damn.
Jagan's
And
going to be mad
Vettel.
at me for that.
And Vettel.
I have Vettel.
Yeah. I'm saying like, you added Vettel. Which is
Oh,
surprising.
yeah.
That surprised me. Yeah,
I know.
That's a good shout. Yeah.
I added 2 surprises, Russell and Vettel.
Okay. Damn. No. Why do you think no Leclerc for what do you call it? To win a race? Do you think Leclerc is not gonna do it?
He didn't win one last season. That's not my point, though. But
Yeah.
I just feel like if one driver is going to perform a lot better than the other, then you just feel like, maybe it'll rub off onto them. But I have full trust in Sainz just performing a lot better than him in general, and he'll win. Well, I have to go and stick with my gut, as I have done a week ago when I predicted this. He will win a race this season.
All right.
Yeah.
I think that's and no McLaren drivers. I'm surprised.
You had Ricardo.
Yeah. No, Ricardo, sorry.
Right? Yeah, you had Ricardo to win a race, right?
Oh, okay. That's fair.
But yeah, Ricardo over Norris is maybe a bit of a.
Yeah, it's a bit of an upset.
That is because
Cool.
I had Ricardo over Norris in the head-to-head, but that's not just because Norris won't win. But I just.
You know what? I agree.
We'll see.
I think that should happen.
Fair.
Yeah, because you wanted to happen. That's why.
Yeah.
All right, Oliver, what about you?
Well, it's mine?
What's your list?
Yeah. All right. I've gone with Verstappen.
Mm-hmm.
Hamilton. I've also gone with Sergio Perez,
Okay.
Leclerc, and Sainz.
Mm-hmm.
And then 2 maybe slight surprises. I've gone for Lando Norris and Pierre Gasly.
Ooh, no Russell?
No Russell, no.
Damn. Okay.
I'm not gonna lie. I thought Russell would be a lot more surprising to you guys, but
No, Russell. He is really good. He's definitely gonna get a win this year, at least in my opinion.
damn. Okay.
But
Well, yeah,
explain Gasly and who were your surprises? Lando.
Lando,
Yeah.
Lando for his first F1 win.
Mm.
But I think for Lando it's maybe not such a surprise. I think it's definitely coming.
Yeah.
The McLaren just has to be quick around a certain track. So yeah, like it was in Monza, for example, last season. And I think that's when Lando will definitely do it. Like he will get his first win at some point. And I think AlphaTauri is going to be pretty good this year, in my opinion.
Mhm.
And I think that's why I think Gasly will get the most out of the car as well. He'll get it. Is it the second win?
Mm-hmm.
So yeah.
Gasly already has a win in Monza.
And then about Russell, I already said I think he will struggle a bit in his first season. I think he'll, I struggle to see a weekend where he will be at the level to win a race and Hamilton won't be at the level to win a race. If you get
That's true. That's actually pretty true.
So-
That's a good point. Unless
So-
Hamilton crashed.
Yeah,
Which
of
is
course.
rare.
Unless
Which is
Hamilton
really rare.
DNFs, who gets
Yeah.
an engine penalty,
Yeah.
for example. I think those are the situations where Russell could do it, but I don't think that'll happen this year. I think they're gonna still gear it up to get Hamilton's eighth world title, and so prioritize him whenever possible.
Yeah. You guys will be surprised at mine. I really went generous on this.
Oh, here we go.
All right,
Okay.
I've got Lewis Hamilton, Max Verstappen, Carlos Sainz, Lando Norris,
Okay.
Charles Leclerc, Ricardo, Russell, Gasly, Stroll, and Alonso.
Fuck.
What? Okay,
Ooh,
so you've got
Alon-
wait, how many drivers? Is that 10?
That is 10, yes. I think half the grid is
Jeez.
going to win this season. So,
Uh,
okay. So
I'm not gonna-
obviously Verstappen, obviously Lewis, obviously Sainz, obviously Leclerc. I think Leclerc's going to win
Yeah.
as well. Obviously Russell as well. I think Russell's going to get one win this season. So for my surprises, I put Lando, I put Ricardo. I think Lando and Ricardo are both going to win this year, and I think it's where it's a favorable track for McLaren. I think we're definitely gonna have some tracks where we can really go for a 1-2 or a 1-3.
Yeah.
I think we can pull those types of weekends out of the bag as well. As for Gasly, I think Gasly has another win in him this year. I think he's gonna take advantage. I think there's gonna be another Hungary type of race, like where a lot of people crash out, and I think that's when Gasly gets a win. Other than that, the biggest shots is Alonso and Stroll. Alonso, like I said, I think he's gonna drive his heart out this year. I think this is his last season, so I think he's definitely gonna have a race like Ocon did in Hungary, where there's chaos and he just goes and smashes it. I think there's gonna be one track this season at least where Alpine is really strong. So
Yeah.
I do think that that's possible. And then Stroll, I think Stroll. Hey, bro, I don't know. I just got this belief that Stroll's gonna do something this year. Like I just feel like he's gonna pull something out of his bag this year. He's always gotten a podium in a competitive car. Like he got a podium with Williams. He got a podium with what do you call it? Aston Martin. And also back in Racing Point. Like, and he was, I think if the Aston Martin is as good as I think it will be, I think Stroll gets a surprise win this year.
All right, okay. I would personally go for Vettel over Stroll, of course, but like.
Yeah. I mean,
interesting.
I'm really predicting the cars are going to be really close this year.
Yeah, that's why I had more winners.
Yeah, that's why a lot more winners this year.
You haven't got Perez.
I think I forgot Perez.
I don't have him either.
But I think Perez is more of a podium guy than a winner, to be honest.
Yeah, for sure. Like I think he won't win a lot of races.
Yeah, I think he'll just get a lot of podiums. I don't think he's gonna win.
But I think that depends on our constructor rankings where we have Red Bull.
Yeah, obviously. All right, should we move on to constructor rankings then?
All right.
Constructor championship.
Let's start from the bottom.
Right. Luca, you can go first. Oliver, then me, obviously, like we have.
Should we?
Yeah, bottom to top.
Should we just like discuss 10th place and then go to 9th place and then go to 8th?
Oh yeah, I think that's actually pretty
or do you want to discuss 2 at the same time?
No, let's discuss 10th and then 9th and then till 1 and then we'll just list out our constructors at the end.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, for 10th, I have gone for Alfa Romeo. What have you guys gone for?
I thought for Alfa Romeo as well.
What about you, Luca?
Williams.
Okay, fair. I think for me, Alfa Romeo have the worst driver lineup on the grid. Bottas is good.
Yeah.
But like would I? Maybe controversial, but would I pick him over Albon at Williams? I'm not sure. I think that's a pretty close call.
Yeah.
Guan Yu Zhou or Zhou Guan Yu is a rookie and has proven the least in F1 so far. Besides in testing, they've really struggled.
Yeah, for sure. And I think the Alfa Romeo package doesn't look it doesn't look amazing this year. So I do think they're gonna be like, all right, they're gonna be like okay, like.
I will say I think it looks amazing. Like the livery is incredible.
But,
100%. The livery looks incredible.
But yeah, it doesn't look very good.
Yeah, exactly.
It doesn't look good when it's driving, but it looks good when it's just stopped. Is that what you're trying to say?
Yeah. I mean, it looks good when it's driving, but it just doesn't drive well. So.
Yeah.
All right, next up. Let's do P9. I have Haas for P9.
I have Williams.
Ooh,
Haas.
Okay.
You also have Haas, okay.
Yeah.
I think personally, it's like a toss-up for P7, P8, P9. I think it's just like a fluctuating thing for everybody. Just because it's so like unpredictable.
For sure.
I have Haas because I think even though so personally I feel like 7th, 8th, 9th are going to be super, super close, but the order they come in is mostly for like, so I put Haas on 9th because I think K-Mag and Mick are not as strong of a lineup than the other, the other 7th, 8th teams that I put. So that's why I put 9th for Haas, because I think 7th, 8th, and 9th are going to be very similar. They're going to have races where they're better at certain circuits and horrible at certain circuits. So I think Haas, because Mick and K-Mag are not that great, so compared to like other teams. So yeah, Haas for me. 9th.
Yeah. So I've gone for
Sorry.
I've gone for Mick to hit like a new level, of course, and I also think K-Mag is a very okay midfield driver. So I do think like in the weekends where Haas is strong, which I do think they'll have those weekends this year rather than last year where they were just racing at each other. I think Haas could get some really strong points finishes. So I do think they'll outperform Williams on this one. Like I think Albon will have a good season. And could be a real like future option for Williams to prioritize as long as he's willing to stay there. But I don't see Latifi doing really anything meaningful at Williams. I think they might drop him at the end of the season. So that's why I just edged Haas over Williams. But then again, you never know.
Yeah, I agree. I think a lot of the teams at the bottom will only have one out of the two drivers getting points. So, well, I didn't put as much of that into Williams. I don't think they'll get many at all. But Haas, I have put. I think I did say I probably put Magnussen over Schumacher. So with a team like that, I think only one person's going to get 1 points, and same with Alfa Romeo.
Yeah. All right. So let's move on to P8. I have a surprise shout here.
Okay.
I have AlphaTauri.
Ooh.
Interesting. Okay. I've gone for Haas.
Okay.
I've gone for Alfa Romeo.
Ooh. So it's different for all the three of us.
Yep.
All right. Well, yeah. So we had Alfa Romeo lower anyway.
Yeah.
And you guys had Haas lower than I had it as well, right?
Yeah. I do feel like I should probably change these predictions now, looking at like pre-practice 1, but it is too late to change now. So like I have gone AlphaTauri P8, and I have also said Gasly will win. So
give us your best argument as to why AlphaTauri is going to end P8.
I personally think Albon is gonna really pull out. I think Latifi and Albon are gonna be really, really solid for Williams, and I think Williams is also going to be a better car at a lot more circuits than the AlphaTauri, just because of that Mercedes engine, and I also feel like the Williams. I just have this vibe from Williams that they're going to have like a P2, P3, P4 weekend at some point, and I think that's good. I think it's going to be really, really close between Williams and AlphaTauri. I think it's going to be like 10 points between them. Honestly, they're kind of interchangeable for me. As I said, I think Williams and AlphaTauri are really just like P7, P8, whatever. You can switch them. That's how it is for me personally.
All right. Fair enough. Yeah, I have AlphaTauri higher. I think they will. I think they might even be McLaren's closest competitor for the 4th place.
Yeah.
Like in testing,
looking
they've been
at
really
FP1,
strong.
I really don't think AlphaTauri is gonna be P8 anymore after looking at FP1.
I think I would say at this point, like Gasly's maybe top 5 drivers in F1 at the moment, and Tsunoda, if he can hit like a midfield level, AlphaTauri will be very strong. But then, I think that's just me. That's
Yeah. What about you, Luca?
For what?
For P7.
P7. AlphaTauri.
Ooh. Okay.
I have them there because not another team that will have one driver. Oh, I think it's kind of one driver's doing more of the work than the other. But I think people were saying Tsunoda didn't do really that bad towards the end of last season. I think he got, was it a 4th place in one of the races
in Abu Dhabi, right?
Yeah, big result for him. But if he does more things like that, they're going higher than McLaren and Aston Martin, arguably, if they do things like that. Pulling maybe fluke results or just results that they didn't expect.
Yeah.
Who have you gone for 7th, Steve?
So as I said, Williams for P7.
Oh, right.
They're really interchangeable for me. Like AlphaTauri, Williams, either or. I already said last, I think Williams are gonna pull it out of the bag sometimes. I just feel like they have that clutch thing within them. More so. I do think Gasly's gonna be incredible, but I feel that clutch coming in for Williams for some reason. I don't know why. Siva.
Seventh place, I have a bit of a controversial shout. This is my.
Ooh, okay.
I went for Alpine in seventh.
Ooh. You know what?
feel-
I'm not mad at that, you know?
Like, okay, they have. I don't know. The vibes just feel all off this preseason.
Yeah.
Like, they've been bad in testing. They've. I think Ocon will step up and mature a bit, but I do think Fernando Alonso is coming to the end of his F1 career.
Yeah.
I do think he could drive his heart out, but I also you think of Alfa Romeo last season with Kimi Raikkonen.
Mhm.
Was he really that good? Like in his last season, I feel like he was just done at this point with the sport, and I feel like we could see something similar from Alonso.
Yeah.
Like the car looks bad, just like in terms of his looks.
Yeah.
Like it's
That's
not
true.
the nicest looking car. I feel like this, it's felt like there've been reports of like the engine losing lots of horsepower.
Yeah.
I think we could, especially at the start of the season, see like some really 15th, 16th place finishes from them, and it'll be an uphill battle from them.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, I mean, I'm not mad at that shot, to be honest. Like, the Alpine does look kind of, it doesn't look great, it looks mid.
Yeah.
It looks mid, if I was to say something, if I was to say
Sorry, yeah.
I was going to point one thing out. Siva for Alonso has gone and said
Yeah.
he'll go out with a bang, and
Yeah.
you, Oliver, have gone and said he'll do a Raikkonen and finish a lot lower. So I find that quite
Ooh.
interesting.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I mean,
Let's,
it
let's
depends
see.
on which Alonso turns up, right? Let's see which Alonso turns up.
Yeah.
All right, next up, P6. Who have you guys gone for?
I've gone for Aston Martin.
Ooh, okay.
Aston Martin.
I've gone for Alpine.
Ooh.
All right,
Yeah.
fair enough.
See, this is another situation where I feel like 5, 6 are very interchangeable. I'll say which team it is later, but I think Alpine is 6th. I think that Alonso win is coming. So, yeah, that's kind of my thought process here. Looking back at my constructor ranking, I definitely need to change this. I think AlphaTauri is going to be way higher, and I think Aston Martin and Alpine are going to be lower. So, well, I screwed up, I guess. But yeah, I think Alpine's a pretty good shoe-in for P6. I just think they're like the mid team, just going to be there, just going to do their thing, and
Yeah.
I think they're going to be at the edge of points every race, and some races they're going to be good. That's my verdict on them.
Yeah, I feel
Fair
like
enough.
I've gone for something similar, but then for Aston Martin, I feel like Alpine, I feel like has had more negative vibes around them at the start of the season. I feel like Aston Martin have been just very steady, and I feel like we could see that for them most of the season. They'll get a couple of really good results like last year, but also have a few races where they're just where they both miss out on points, get like 10th, 11th.
Yeah.
And I think that that's probably going to be where they will be for most of the races this season. But
Yeah, I'm kind of going off my logic. The one driver doing more work. With the teams in mid-table, I feel like there's a lot of that. You got an experienced driver, and then someone who's a bit younger. Is whether they want to mature themselves. I just feel like Vettel's going to do a lot more work than Stroll.
That's fair. Okay.
And that's why I got him winning a race as well. That's also a different thing.
Yeah, of course. Siva, you think Stroll will step up? Sorry,
I think Stroll will step up.
Yeah, that's probably the difference in factor.
Sorry?
Why? That's probably the difference for you having a Aston Martin higher than we do. We have our doubts about Stroll, but then you're a bit more optimistic.
Yeah, 100%. All right, should we move on to P5 then?
Yep.
So I've got Aston Martin P5. What about you guys?
I've gone for AlphaTauri P5.
Okay, what about you, Luca?
Alpine.
Ooh.
Okay. So, well, that's like our top four is definitely all the same.
Yeah, our top four is probably all the same. Um, yeah, so, I mean, Aston Martin, as I said, I have more belief in Stroll than you guys. And I think, obviously AlphaTauri makes sense why you're going so high. There's a chance that Tsunoda steps up, and also Gasly's Gasly. So,
Yeah, for sure.
what about you, Luca? Alpine?
Uh,
What do you think Alpine
in-
P5?
Yeah, in general, I mean, I looked at my driver rankings to get an idea of my constructor rankings, and also, I mean, with the wins, that I've kind of just looked at the big boys, the ones really at the top. So, Alpine. I just feel like they'll probably get a bit more consistency out of a team that, they looked like they were doing really well last season.
Yeah.
So they will continue, and the young lads need to really kick themselves up the arse if they were going to finish up a higher. So that's why Alpine, they're finishing fifth in constructor.
Yeah, that's right.
All right.
Let's move on to P4. I think all of us have the same team here. I've gone for McLaren for P4. Oliver, how about you?
Yep, so have I.
Oh
how
wow,
about you,
you're going
Luca?
for the same one.
All right. Perfect.
I mean, McLaren's kind of like the shoe-in for fourth this year. I do think they're going to be closer to the top than to the midfield, personally.
Yeah, I think we kind of talked about this before, right? Like saying, I do think they're pretty like isolated in fourth. They don't look like they can have the level of the top three. Maybe have a couple of weekends where they do look very strong, but then I also think they'll have a couple of really weak weekends. Maybe run out of the points a couple of times. And
like similar to last year, to be honest. Like, I think it's going to be another like 2021 for us, except like, Ricardo's going to perform better. I think that's how it's going to roll out.
For sure. Yeah, I will say, like, I think that's probably a very positive sign for them for 2023. Like, I think being isolated and not having much competition gives you quite a lot of space to test new stuff, to develop your car, to build towards making a push upwards in the next year. So I think this could be a very positive season for them. Maybe not in terms of results now, but in terms of like
for the
future.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. All right. Next up, third. Okay, so for P3, who do you guys have?
Yeah.
I've got Ferrari.
Okay. What about you, Oliver?
I've gone for Mercedes.
Ooh, I'll go for Red Bull.
Okay.
All different. Okay.
Teams.
I really think that Mercedes is sandbagging. Like, they are the heaviest sandbag out there right now, I feel like. And, I think that's just kind of slight optimism for me, just because I want Hamilton to get his 8th. So it might just be a little bit of a, bias. But I think Red Bull, they're going to turn out 3rd. I don't think they have as many upgrades also in the pipeline as, a Ferrari or a Mercedes. Because they really focused on 2020. So, like, they really focused on 2021 to get Max to win. So I think they won't be bringing as many upgrades, and I think that's going to ultimately be their downfall for the constructors. That's what I personally think. What about you guys? So Luca, you said Ferrari, didn't you? What do you think?
I mean, it was tough, honestly, but I think the wins come into factor with the constructor rankings, right? Rankings at all, do they? I mean, the points, right? You get extra points for wins or something, or is that just? It's not too big of a difference, the points that you get, do you?
Yeah, it's just like the constructor rankings are the points that the two drivers got, like, counted up.
Yeah.
That's what it comes down to.
Okay, yeah, like the winning points is not extraordinary amount. Oh no, I'm talking about fastest lap and shit. Oh, well, yeah, because I didn't have Leclerc winning, or however you say his name. I kind of wanted to avoid getting into that topic because I know it's a big topic on Twitter. But yeah, I only had Sainz winning out of the 2 in Ferrari, and same with Red Bull as well. I only had Verstappen winning. So they're they're third for me.
What about you, Oliver?
Yeah. Well, yeah, I've gone for Mercedes third. So I've said, yeah, I've brought a couple of things up why I think this. Like, I do think, yeah, they probably are sandbagging. So the testing hasn't been as positive or hasn't been as, quick as Ferrari and Red Bull. But I think there were times where they were 2 seconds off the pace. And I feel like that's quite an extreme amount to be sandbagging, which just makes me think they might just be a bit slower than Ferrari and Red Bull at the moment. I do back them to close the gap in the second half of the season. Like, I think Mercedes are the best group of engineers on the grid. They're very smart and always are trying to find good solutions. So I definitely think they'll. I think Mercedes will have an awful start to the season by their standards, and they close the gap. I also don't think Russell will hit the level people expect of him this year. I think he's, I think he'll be like by quite a distance. He'll be like out of the three teams, he'll be the worst driver.
Who?
Russell.
Okay, yeah, that's fair.
Lewis will hit his usual level and get the most out of the car. I think Russell, when needing betting in time, could have some really bad results at the start. So that's why I've gone for Mercedes third.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. Yeah, I think it's a bit too much sandbagging, but I'm on my copium because I want Lewis to win.
Of course, yeah. Like, I mean, I definitely prefer Lewis to Max as well, even though I live in the Netherlands. Like, I think Lewis is using his platform for only good stuff, and he's a great role model. Whereas for Verstappen, he's just some guy. Yeah. He's just a random guy.
Just a guy, dude.
All right.
Yeah, he's a rich kid.
All right.
Exactly.
All right. Next up, we got well, fuck's sake. We got P2.
Yeah.
Who do you got in P2? Luca and Oliver.
I've gone Ferrari.
You gone for Ferrari, just like Siva, because I heard him say.
Yeah. Who'd you go for P2, Luca?
Red Bull.
Ooh. Okay.
Yep.
Okay. So Ferrari for me and Oliver, and for Oliver and I, and Red Bull for Luca. Huh? Okay.
Yeah. So I've got the most interesting one.
Honestly, I don't have much to say here. Ferraris look really good.
I think Ferrari are very good. I think this could be the year they win the championship.
Yeah.
But I think they might need one or two more years.
Yeah, maybe another year or so, maybe a year or two.
Yeah, I definitely think as I said, I think Leclerc will win a lot of races this year. I think he'll be, I think he's going to drive I think his driving style is very well tailored to driving at the front of the grid. So I think that's very positive from their side. Sainz being very consistent, but I don't think it's enough to kind of beat the guys to beat at the moment.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah.
What about you, Luca? You got any?
Well, I had Red Bull. I mean, it's a surprise to you two because you got Ferrari second, and well, I don't really have much to really say about Red Bull. I just kind of put them second. I'm not gonna lie, but it kind of made sense with how I've panned the whole thing out with predictions. I don't have Perez winning a race.
Yeah.
As you said, he might settle more for podiums. But yeah, I have, in general, Mercedes going to do better than them.
Yeah.
So that means for first.
All right, for first, for P1 in the championship. I have gone for Mercedes.
Oh, wait,
Oliver, who have you gone for?
Constructor rankings. Oh,
wait. Yeah, I've gone for Red Bull.
Ooh, okay. And Luca?
Wait, I totally forgot that you said Red Bull for third, right? Yeah, so I'm Mercedes top as well.
Ooh, I think it's gonna be really close in the top three this year. To be honest, I think Mercedes are gonna start out third, but then I think the more upgrades they bring, I think the more higher, the better they get. So I think it's gonna be super close. I think it's gonna be a three-way battle for the championship this year.
Yeah, I agree. Like, I think they'll end very close together. I just think Red Bull in testing have just been, they've just run without problems really. And Verstappen is, I'm gonna be, I think Verstappen on his day is the best Formula One driver on the grid at the moment. As much as I hate to say it, because I don't like him all that much, I do think he's the best driver in Formula One at the moment. And he's gonna make it to 1.5, let's say, because let's be real, we didn't deserve the other one.
Yeah, the other one doesn't count. So, all right. Luca, what are you saying?
Well, yeah, I've really got Mercedes doing better. So as a constructor, combined, I'm not really saying the word right. Constructor, as a team, I think get more points. But Red Bull look pretty good.
Red Bull and Ferrari, you guys have said, man.
Yeah, I mean, was it top for most of the testing? But, that's testing, so you never know. And
you never know.
And I did do enough research where people have gone and said, well, Mercedes, they always seem to have a slow start. And then they start packing it in.
Yeah, they always start slow, and then they just turn the heat up. They always sandbag, and then they always turn it up, and then just go super good in the first weekend. So I'm kind of on copium for that, because I want Lewis to get his 8 this year. So
yeah.
All right.
See how it pans out.
So with that, let's just run through our rankings real quick from 10 to 1. Luca can go first.
Wait, 10 to 1 or 20?
No, 10 to 1. Constructor. Just say it again.
Oh, constructors. Yeah. Constructors again.
Yeah.
All right. So Williams, Haas, Alfa Romeo, AlphaTauri, Aston Martin, Alpine, McLaren, Ferrari, Red Bull, and Mercedes.
Ooh, okay. What about you, Oliver?
Yeah, so I've got the Alfa Romeo, Williams, Haas, Alpine, Aston Martin, AlphaTauri, McLaren, Mercedes, Ferrari, and Red Bull.
All right, and mine is Alfa Romeo, Haas, AlphaTauri, Williams, Alpine, Aston Martin, McLaren, Red Bull, Ferrari, and Mercedes. All right, so for this driver championship, do you guys just want to 20 to 1 just do it?
Yeah, and I think let's run through it a bit quickly.
Yeah, let's run through it a little bit quickly. Let's pay more attention. Maybe 10 to 1. We can do a little thing, or maybe 5 to 1, because we're kind of we've been running along. So, okay, so okay. So go from 20 to 15. Just say 20 to 5. Just say who you got, basically.
All right.
So, okay, Luca, you can go first.
Right. Okay. So 20 all the way to 5.
Yeah.
Right. All right. So I'm not going to say the numbers. Just Latifi, Albon. How do you say the Chinese guy's name again?
Joe.
So Latifi, Albon, Joe, Schumacher, Tsunoda, Magnussen, Stroll, Bottas, Ocon, Gasly, Alonso, Vettel, Norris, Ricciardo, Leclerc, and Perez.
Ooh, okay. Oliver, you can go ahead.
All right. A couple of very different choices there to what I have. But I have Zhou in 20th, then Latifi, then Bottas, then Albon, Magnussen 16th, Stroll in 15th, Schumacher, Alonso, then Ocon, then I've got Tsunoda in 11th, Vettel, Gasly, Ricciardo 8th, Norris 7th, then Russell 6th.
Oh, okay.
And are we saying 5 as well?
Yeah.
Yeah, Sainz 5th.
Okay, all right. So I've gone Joe, Mick, Latifi, Magnussen, Tsunoda, Albon, Bottas, Ocon, Alonso, Stroll, Vettel, Gasly, Perez, Ricciardo, Lando, Russell. So obviously, I have, these are kind of changed for me now, but I'll be sticking to my word, and I got Mick 19th, I got Magnussen 17th, I got Bottas 14th. I think he's gonna pull out some bags, some points.
Yeah, I have Bottas in here as well.
I got Stroll and Vettel 10th and 9th. 11th and 10th for Stroll and Vettel, and I have Alonso, Ocon 12th, 13th as well. So yeah. All right. So let's start from P5. Who do you have at P5?
A P4, you mean?
Oh yeah, sorry, P4. Who do you have at P4?
I've got Russell.
Oliver, how about you?
I have Lewis Hamilton.
Ooh,
Ooh!
damn. All right.
Hope.
Hey, to be fair, I did say ooh. I have Verstappen at 4th.
Okay, fair enough. Fair enough.
Okay.
Yeah. So I think with Mercedes being the third best car in the grid, in my opinion, I have Russell in 6th and Hamilton 4th. That's
Yeah.
So I definitely think Lewis will win a couple of races this season. But over the course of the season, like especially at the start, I think they will struggle to get consistent results. And especially Russell, I think he might even fall down to the level of McLaren for quite a lot of races.
Yeah, that's fair.
So yeah, I think Mercedes won't have the car to let Hamilton challenge for a title.
Yeah, that's fair. I think Verstappen's gonna be 4th because I think he's gonna have a lot of crashes this year. Personally, I don't think he's gonna be used to having obviously he had him and Lewis fight out last season, and Lewis was very accommodating for most of the season. He gave away position a lot of times just to avoid incident, and I don't think Leclerc does that. I don't think Sainz does that either. And I don't think Russell does that either. So I think he's going to be crashing a lot more often because people are not going to allow him to have his way like Lewis did. Because Lewis is a clean driver. I don't think Leclerc cares about that. I don't think Russell cares about that because this is Russell's first season. He wants to prove himself. So I think Verstappen's going to have a lot more incidents this year. And I think he's going to finally learn that people aren't going to, move out of the way for him, right? So that's my personal belief. I think he's going to crash a lot. That's why he's 4th. Because I think he's definitely 1st or 2nd in terms of ability on this grid, and but I think his crashes are gonna hold him back this year because he's gonna push it to the limit like he did against Lewis, and he's gonna pay a lot more for it this time because other drivers aren't gonna be as classy as Lewis. So I think that's where he's gonna trip up personally.
All right, I think that's a fair argument. Yeah. I think like I do think that the FIA loves Verstappen, don't they?
It's the FIA's fault. It's not even his fault. They allowed him to be like this,
Yeah, exactly. Like he has this overly aggressive driving style, and I think of course, other drivers might be less accommodating of him, but while the rules are the way they are and allow him to drive in this aggressive way without punishing him too much for it, I don't think he'll besides him just having the quickest car on the grid, in my opinion. I don't think he'll pay enough for it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I've got Russell 4th. Yeah, I know you guys put him. Was it you both put him 5th?
I put him 6th.
I put Russell. I put Russell 5th. Yeah.
So yeah, I was gonna put in some more of my research, because that's what I was doing a fair bit of, and I knew when Nico Rosberg retired, they got Bottas in for Mercedes. Not really the same situation that they got this year.
Yeah.
But Bottas comes in. I think he was 9th. Williams just before. In the total rankings, and then first season with Mercedes. He's got 300 points. He's come 3rd place, and obviously he's a bit older at that time compared to Russell coming in now. I think Russell's 22 or something like that. I don't know how old he is, but with the feeling that you come in as a new driver to Mercedes, you've got that instinct that you're going to come quite a lot higher than before, and Bottas certainly did that. So there's an element that I think Russell will do the same.
Yeah, all right. Fair enough. All right. Should we go P3 then?
Yep.
All right. P3. Who do you got, Oliver?
I have Sergio Perez.
Ooh.
Oh.
Okay. I see. Do you think he's gonna be that good?
I think he is. Yeah. So, I think it's quite similar to what Luca just said. Luca used the argument of, okay, well, Bottas maybe wasn't the most spectacular driver, but did finish very consistently, 3rd place, 300 points. He did really well at Mercedes as a second driver. when Mercedes was definitely the best car on the grid.
Mm-hmm.
He could still finish second or third pretty comfortably. And I think we'll have a similar situation this year with Red Bull being the fastest car. Perez will get lots of criticism for not being for example, will be comfortably better than him.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
But so I think they could still drop Perez despite being third. But I do think Red Bull will be a good enough car to the level that Perez still manages to get third in the in the drivers' championships.
Yeah, that's fair. Okay.
That makes sense.
All right. Let's move on to. Wait, no, I haven't said mine. P3.
Yeah, I haven't said mine either.
Oh, sorry, my bad. Luca, who do you put for P3?
I've got Carlos Sainz, and he's
I've also got Carlos Sainz. So.
Oh, nice. Yeah, I've predicted him 3 positions higher than Leclerc.
Damn. Okay.
Yeah, there's the big difference, and I think that comes with the wins. Where I've predicted him to win at least one race. I don't think he's won a race before, has he?
I just realized I've contradicted myself. I put Leclerc second, so I'm just gonna say Leclerc is my third. So I'll just to fix that real quick.
Wait, what?
You also had Magnussen above Schumacher as well.
Yeah. I've really changed my mind a lot.
Oh my god.
So yeah, I'm gonna say Leclerc, Leclerc second and Sainz. Sorry, Leclerc third and Sainz second. Yeah. Okay, so I put Leclerc second. As I said, I think Sainz is gonna beat Leclerc. So.
Oh, by the way.
Yeah.
With the head-to-head thing, I mean, basically, it's whoever finishes ahead of them in the driver rankings.
Yeah.
So if you got someone that's higher in the driver rankings, but you had them lower in the head-to-head, just change it.
Yeah. But yeah, I think Leclerc is gonna lose that to Sainz, as I mentioned before. What about you, Luca?
What about Sainz?
Yeah, about Sainz being P3 for you.
Yeah, he'll just win the races. I didn't have Leclerc winning, so he's yep, that's all really.
All right, let's move on to P2. As I said, I have Carlos Sainz at P2. What about you, Oliver?
Yeah, I've gone for 1 second. Who have I gone for? Leclerc. I've gone for Leclerc. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I do think Ferrari look very strong this year. Second best car on the grid, and I think. Well, yeah. So I think. You had Sainz P2, Leclerc P3.
Yeah.
I have. I think Leclerc is going to outperform Sainz. I think driving at the front of the grid suits him really well. And I think he'll show why he's the future of Ferrari.
Fair enough.
He won't win the championship this year.
Yeah.
But he'll show why he's the caliber of driver to win it in the future.
All right. What about you, Luca?
Right, so it's Red Bull or Mercedes winning for me, and Verstappen is coming second.
Get in. All right. All right. Why do you think he's gonna be P2?
I don't know. I feel like Hamilton just really wants a resurgence. He must have been absolutely devastated with that. How it panned out towards the end of the season. And he probably be kicking himself, as you said. I mean, I didn't know actually about it really, but dropping positions really easily to Verstappen. If you just have to change his. Must have changed himself. Perform better than last season, whether it's closer or not. That's the difference with the regulations. So I'm talking more about Hamilton than Verstappen actually. Yeah, I don't really have any comment about Verstappen. I mean, I think you probably said a bit more knowledge about me, more knowledge about him than me earlier. I was about crashing. I knew he was a very dangerous driver, always doing. There's always something that he was getting into that turned into an argument or something after the race. So well, if he's going to continue dangerous driving, it's always a possibility you have to retire or come in the 0 points positions.
All right. All right then. In that case, P1. Who's your driver champion this year? Oliver, you can go first.
I'd say it, but like I do hope it's like I hope it's Lewis or I hope it's Leclerc for the first time. But no, I've gone for Max Verstappen. He's gonna do it again.
Okay, all right. Running it back this time properly without the help.
Yeah, this time like, I just hope this time he does it a bit cleaner. Like he has shown definite like signs of progression compared to earlier years. Like of course, fighting for a drivers' championship, your aggression and your mistakes will be highlighted more if you're Max Verstappen. But like he was definitely a more mature driver last year than he was beforehand, when he was very rash. I think that'll progress a bit further. You know, I don't think he'll crash as much as we say he will, especially not when he's 20 seconds out ahead, which I do think with the Red Bull will be at times this season, because I think it's the car to beat.
All right, Luca, what about you?
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, with the Oliver's gone. Verstappen. The dangerous driving will work in his favour, and you've gone and said that it won't work in his favour. So it's hard to really get which one will actually happen. I mean, will he still do the dangerous driving and finish behind? But they're both honestly probably the ones that will be at the top. I mean, Verstappen looked great with the times he's getting the testing. I think it's a typical Red Bull thing to do, probably do really well in the testing. And same thing
they usually
for
do really
Mercedes.
well in the testing, and then they fall off in the season.
Same thing for Mercedes. They start slower and then
just
kick on after
just
that.
saying though, like the results for free practice 2 have just come in, and Verstappen is top again.
Ooh, okay.
For what?
I don't like that.
Hamilton,
who's
where is
P2?
he? What did you say?
Who's P2 and FP2?
Leclerc is P2, Sainz P3, Russell P4, Hamilton 9th.
Yeah, I heard he has a DRS problem. That's why he didn't.
That could be, yeah.
Yeah. So.
McLaren dusted. Daniel Rick 18th.
Apparently, Daniel apparently had a fluid leak or something. Lando P11. That's a bit rough. Let's see what happens. I guess.
Trust the process.
Man, I'm so excited for quality this year.
Can I ask one question? What's this FP2 thing?
Free practice 2.
Is that live or something?
Yeah, you can watch it. So basically, what happens is in an F1 weekend on Friday we have FP1 and FP2, which is free practice 1 and 2, where the drivers can go out on track, test race sims, test quali sims, and they're basically making sure they know the circuit and the car is they set up their car so that's great. And on Saturday we have FP3 and then we have qualifying.
Okay.
And then on Sunday we have the race.
Yes. All right. Okay, that makes more sense now.
So yeah.
So
practice, qualifying, and then race.
Yeah. So tomorrow's FP3 and quali, and then on Sunday it's race.
Nice.
So have you guys both gone for?
Yeah,
Hamilton
I've gone
P1?
for Sir Lewis Hamilton, 8-time champion of the world this season.
Damn.
We've both gone for the knighted.
Yep. I personally think Lewis has experience of 3-way title fights, and I think that's gonna give him the benefit. Especially as I said, I feel like Leclerc's gonna crash. I feel like Verstappen's gonna crash a lot. So I think that's where Lewis will shine, and he will maximize his points. And I think that's how he's gonna end up taking it. I think this top 5 is gonna be really close, especially between Hamilton, Sainz, Leclerc, and Verstappen. I think it's gonna be a very small point gap in between them. But I think Hamilton's gonna end up taking it because he won't DNF as much. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah, that's my copium. So.
Yeah. So, I think I definitely think out in terms of getting the performance out of the car, we all know Hamilton's reliable and he'll get the best out of the car every weekend that it's at the level. I do think that our difference in prediction is just that I don't think Mercedes will be able to offer the level of car necessary to win the title, whereas you do. Yeah,
fair enough. I think the development upgrades are clutch for Mercedes this year.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, F1 is basically split opinions, really, because
Yeah.
it's same thing with like getting the football table sort of thing. You have
exactly.
to put someone last, you have to put someone first. There's no in between.
And also like this year is the most unpredictable year out of every year in Formula One because of the regulations and everything. So we have no idea what's gonna happen. So yeah, that's us.
Exactly,
So let's just say our top three, real quick, before we wrap up. Oliver, what's your top three?
All right, top three. Number one, Max Verstappen. Number two, Charles Leclerc, and number three, Checo Perez.
Ooh, okay. Luca, what's your top three?
Number one is Hamilton. Second is Verstappen, and three is Sainz.
All right, and my top three is Hamilton, Sainz, Leclerc.
There you go.
Okay, so
Nice.
before we wrap up, two more things. What do you think is going to be the best race this season? Just a pure guess.
I love Monza. I think Monza's gonna be great. I think like just from a personal point of view, having McLaren was so strong last year, and they got the 1-2 there.
Yeah.
Their car is mostly built for like the fast circuits like Monza. So I think it's always such an exciting race. I want to see Monza this year.
Yeah. All right. What about you, Luca?
Yeah, honestly, it was always between two races for me because I knew they're both, popular because something just seems to happen on both of them, and that's Monza and Spa. But I've gone for Spa. So,
all right.
Yeah.
All right. And I have gone for Baku.
Oh, Baku's a great track as well. Yeah, so is Spa.
Yeah, I think Baku's gonna be really good this season. So
Baku's my favorite track in terms of what it looks like. Like I love that street circuit.
It looks amazing. I love it. Yeah.
That long straight for the finish is awesome.
Yeah. Like you're absolutely speeding. So like.
Yeah.
So, all right. And driver of the year. Who do you think is good driver of the year?
I've gone for Sainz. I've got a lot of Sainz stuff. Trust me, I'm not a fanboy of this guy, but he going third, and probably winning a couple races.
Yeah.
He's not won races before this, but if I'm predicting him to win, a race at least, then and he's also the rising star, it's going to be driver of the year to him.
Okay, what about you, Oliver?
Yeah, I've gone for Verstappen because he's going to win the Drivers' Championship, and a lot more comfortably than less controversial than last year.
Yeah. Okay. And I've gone for Lewis Hamilton.
So there you go. Yeah, like just the winner.
All right. In that case, I would like to do another one at the end of the season, and let's see where our predictions ends up. That would be, I think, really cool.
Yeah,
for sure. Yeah, it would also be fun to like do a prediction of which drivers do we think will leave F1, which drivers will move. That's probably getting a bit late now.
Do you want to do that real quick? Who do you think is going to leave F1 at the end of this year?
All right, hot take. This is Hamilton's last season in F1.
Ooh, okay.
I think.
What about you? Okay. You got anybody else leaving?
Let's think.
Do you think he's going to retire without getting the 8th?
I think I think there's lots of scenarios where he could retire. Just like if he's outperformed comfortably by Russell, for example, like if he is, or if he wins the 8th, I think he's gone for sure.
Yeah, I think so too.
But like if he maybe just misses out on the 8th, but still has is comfortable in the car and feels like next season he could win it, I think then he'll probably stay. But I could easily see Mercedes being the third best car. Him kind of thinking, all right, well, I'll leave it for the future, and then, Russell and Gasly is maybe a very good driver lineup.
That would be a great driver lineup.
Yeah. Apart from that, I think Latifi will probably be dropped at the end of the season.
Ooh, okay.
I think Guan Yu Zhou will leave Alpha. So that they can get
in 1
Porsche.
year.
What did you say?
Do you think he's gonna leave in 1 year?
In 1 year, yeah. I think because Alpha seem set on getting Porsche as soon as that's possible.
Yeah.
And I think they would probably drop Zhou for him over Bottas.
Or Bottas, obviously.
Yeah. So I do think Zhou might probably stay in F1 because he has lots of money. Like I think for either Williams or a Haas, he could bring a lot of, he could bring a lot.
Yeah, 100%.
But yeah, I think those are my main predictions.
All right. Luca, did you got any?
I didn't actually have a list for who to leave, but going off kind of basic assumptions, we probably all going for like Latifi to leave because at the bottom's not really done anything.
Yeah.
I suppose. And maybe it's just a time for Williams to change. If they don't do well again, you feel like they're just going to change driver lineup after driver lineup. I don't really know if Alonso is going to leave, to be honest, but it probably depends on how well they do. And I was going to say the same thing for maybe Ricardo even. If he doesn't perform as well as I think he is, there's a chance that he can just move. And if Magnussen as well, it's his first season back. Maybe it has to take more than one season, but I don't know if that's Haas's plan.
Yeah.
If they want to stick with him, then it'll be Schumacher and Magnussen, together for another season.
Yeah, that's a bit. I don't know.
So yeah, Latifi, and I'll say Alonso, and
yeah, I agree.
Stroll's not leaving. I was gonna say someone from Aston Martin might leave, but it's definitely not him. His dad owns the company.
Yeah.
Maybe
Perez. Alonso, Perez, Latifi.
Yeah, you know what? I would agree with that. Alonso, Perez, Latifi. I think those three might probably leave F1.
I definitely think I agree with Alonso. I missed him, but yeah, I think it's Piastri season, baby. Let's go.
And for your the Indian guy from F2.
Jihan Darwal.
Yeah, his season next season.
Yeah, I'm really hoping he gets like a chance at AlphaTauri next year.
That would be cool, yeah. So I think I might go to Dennis Hauger then. I think the person who wins F2,
definitely gets in. He definitely gets in. If you win F2, you get in next year.
Well, you say that, but then poor Piastri, he didn't deserve this.
Yeah, Piastri got left out, poor guy.
That's sad.
But at least he's guaranteed a place in F1, like he's definitely getting a seat sometime soon.
Yeah, definitely at some point. Like, I live for the day I see Ricciardo and Piastri lining up on the grid together.
Imagine.
Aussie brothers.
Of course.
Alright. In that case, we'll end it there then. Thank you for listening to the 9th episode of One Shots of the Lunch Table Podcast. Thank you so much for Luca and Oliver for coming on and enjoying this whole talk with us, and I think it was very fun. I definitely I probably would have changed my predictions, but oh well, I guess you can't do much. So yeah,
sure.
We'll see you around then. See ya.
Yep, thanks for having me on.
See ya.
See ya.